guys that I can report on it. We have a bunch of guys that are getting MRIs tomorrow. Obvious disappointment, but it's frustrating when you go out and you get beaten soundly in all three phases. You know, I talked to the guys about there's an it factor that you have to have when you go out and play, an edge to you, whether it's the focus, the intensity, and we didn't have it today, and that's frustrating because you only get so many opportunities to go out and play. It's frustrating because it was a very meaningful game for us. And that's, to me, it's one of the hardest things in sports is finding that edge and playing with it every time. And that's something that we obviously have to do a better job of. I'll go ahead and open it up.
Is that what you expected out of Johnny, that he would bring that edge and pass it to the rest of the
No,
team?
it's not on one player. To me, it's on. I think everybody has to have it. I think when you depend on for it to be on one guy, you get results like you did today.
What was the difference in the defense, do you think, between that first Cincinnati game and today?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think a lot of it's what I just talked about. I mean, there were I could notice in the in game our pad level wasn't good. We didn't tackle well. You know, when we've had good defensive performances, we've tackled well. We didn't have that today.
Mike, what's your evaluation of how Man's up there?
I don't think I need to. You know, I always like to say I need to see the tape. Didn't play well. I mean, it looked like a rookie. Played like a rookie. And again, I know a lot of it was we didn't play well around him, but you know he made some obvious mistakes that typically a veteran quarterback won't make.
Did he look indecisive to you, Mike?
A couple times he did.
You know, did you expect him to have more success with his athleticism, getting out of the pocket and being able to create that way?
Some. It it didn't need to happen at the number of attempts trying to do that. And I said that all week. That if you get into that mode where you're trying to do that all the time, and I know that's what he does, and that's what you fall back on very quickly. But there were plays that were there where make a decision, make a read, make the read, throw it, and we're on to the next play. So there is no substitute for playing them, and that's you can only simulate that so much in practice or in preseason. Got to get out there and play, and that's the bad thing is the result. The worst thing would be not to learn from it. That we have to come out and push through it, and hopefully we'll be better next week.
For those reasons, obviously you have to stick with them and let them keep starting and finish this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it'd be hard to judge on just the one game, but again, it doesn't just fall on him. That we didn't play well around him at all.
Mike, do you consider making a change at the half?
No.
Why not?
Because we made a decision to go with him. I wasn't going to pull a guy after a half. It's the same reason before when Brian was the starter and we were down big by big numbers at halftime, whether it was Tennessee, whether it was Pittsburgh. Stick with the guy that got the reps throughout the week, that executed the plan in practice. And I mean, it's again, I don't like to put it so much on one player. That's why it's rare that I would. The Buffalo game was a rare thing where it made a change in game.
How do you explain not having that edge you talked about, especially when it was such a meaningful game?
I can't explain it, and that's a big part of coaching, because when you don't have it, you want to know why. What was different? What were the signs during the week? And as a staff, we'll talk about it. Because it's this isn't Major League Baseball where we got 100 and however many games. I mean, they're all big, and this one was meaningful, and that's why it's a surprise. It's shocking that we just wouldn't have it.
You just talk about losing 4 out of your last 5, and I believe this game knocked you guys out of being able to win the division. How disappointing is that whole aspect of it?
Well, it's very disappointing. I mean, we live in a what have you done lately business, and that's what you say. 4 of our last 5. I mean, that's what we are. I mean, I constantly tell the guys, especially in the NFL, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We earned the right by playing the way we did to have meaningful games, but when you get those meaningful games, you got to make them count. and we obviously didn't today. You know, hats off to Cincinnati. They came in here with a great plan, and they executed it. They beat us in every phase, and we're not going to make excuses for that. But it's frustrating to put that out there.
Mike,
when what you did offensively was new or stuff you hadn't done this year. Looked like different formations at times, things like that.
Yeah, we did some different things. I think schematically, we didn't have any new protections or new runs. I mean, we change our formations every week, and given the quarterback change, that we had some different wrinkles. But from a concept and scheme standpoint, there wasn't anything really dramatically different.
Mike, with the target Jeremy Hill had on his back, I mean, how frustrating is it to play the run defense like that?
Yeah, it's extremely. I mean, we did not play complementary football. I mean, to me, you want to get the offense out there and maximize your opportunities, and we just gave up too many long drives, and we were on the field. I mean, the end of the game was a perfect indication.
What did you see on those?
Clarify, as the commitment to Mansell through next week at minimum, that is?
Yeah, I already answered that.
Yeah, it sounded like you said that, I'm just clarifying.
What did you see on the 2 interceptions from Johnny?
I think the first one he held it too late, and then the second one, I just think that's a rookie mistake, trying to launch the ball towards the end zone, especially when you're in an area of the field where you potentially have points.
Mike, on overreaction Sunday or overreaction Monday, do you have to caution against, and do you think everybody needs to caution against saying that, this is a statement on Johnny Manziel's future?
Yeah, absolutely. You just can't base it on one game. I mean, I said we didn't play complementary football. I mean, when you're not running well, you got longer yardage. When you're trailing, you got to throw it more. To me, it's so much more a function of the team and than the individual. Disappointing start for him, absolutely. But I think there were a few flashes of what he's capable of. But to me, overall, I don't want to just dwell on the one position. We got to play it better.
Mike, given how late he came to this job in the season, not right fresh from a training camp where he was, getting a lot of reps and all, is it even possible to tell anything in 3 games?
Yeah, he'll be able to. I see your point, not having a full season, but 3 games plus the experience he got in Buffalo, I think will be a decent sample. It's not obviously as big a sample size as we could have, but it's a good amount.
When you use the word shocking, it was in reference to the edge that was not there. Was Manziel's performance shocking to you?
I think our team's performance overall. Again, it's a function of there's 10 other guys out there, so I don't want to put that label on one player, especially not having watched the tape.
Anything else?
What about his it factor, his moxie, his energy? Did he at least bring the same energy that he brought during the week, or do you think that the moment kind of powers?
No, there were flashes of it, but brief and just not enough. It wasn't. It can't. And I just keep stressing this. It can't just come from one. We have to play better around the quarterback.
Can you chalk any of it up to, well, this was his first game, this was his first start, he was a little nervous?
He was definitely nervous, I'm sure, and that's the situations that we put him in didn't help. It's not like we were playing with a lead and getting turnovers and giving him short fields and stuff that all running the ball well, things that help a quarterback out. So yeah, that's a tough spot to be in your first, especially when the game's going the way that it went.
Is Hayden one of the guys getting the MRI tomorrow?
Yes, shoulder.
What about Brian? Did you see Brian helping him on the sideline at all today?
No, my attention was as it is usually during the game on the field.
I think the defense on that first drive had 3 penalties. One was declined. Were they too amped up? You talk about the edge.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it because that's the again we'll submit what we think are questionable. See what feedback we get from the league.
All right, thanks, Coach.